Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 569 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Yao Qingtian had grown up in the secluded Medicine King Valley. Since childhood, she'd never been exposed to modern societal values. Even her martial uncles and ancestors were people from the Republican era, or even the Qing dynasty. Their thinking was old-fashioned. Back then, monogamy wasn't a rule, and feminism didn't exist. Men were the undisputed heads of the family, and many of those traditional beliefs had continued in the valley, untouched by time. So to her, a playboy wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It could even be a compliment. Sure, she got a little jealous sometimes, but not enough to get mad or walk away just because Chun Yuan had ambiguous relationships with other women. Ahem. Qingtian, the times have changed, the Xiantian medicine ancestor said awkwardly. Your great master having 7 wives was a very long time ago. Just then, Tina, ever sensitive to powerful energy, seemed to sense something. With a blur of motion, she vanished. And in the next instant, she launched a punch straight at the medicine ancestor. Boom. A deafening shockwave burst through the air. The medicine ancestor raised his fist and met her attack head-on. But while Tina stood motionless, the old man was blown back over 50 meters. You again, you old witch. And you've gotten even stronger? The medicine ancestor was stunned. Not only was Tina Morgan alive, she was clearly more powerful than before. And what was even more bizarre, why was she here at the Chun family manor? Wasn't this the same barbarian woman who had once sworn she would dismember Chun Yuan, grind his bones to dust, and eat him alive? Why was the atmosphere now so peaceful? Why were they having a barbecue together? It made no sense. Roar. Suddenly, a deafening tiger's roar echoed through the air. A giant tiger, over 3 meters long, appeared with a terrifying presence. Its bloodthirsty aura sent chills down everyone's spine. Is that a spirit beast? Holy! The medicine ancestor nearly jumped in fright. He could feel the beast locking onto him. He was already struggling to keep up with Tina. Now there was a tiger of equal or greater strength. Was this it for him? Why am I always ending up in these life-threatening situations? Isn't this version of Chun Yuan just a fake clone? Then why is even his clone surrounded by monsters? I'm a 5th-rank powerhouse. I should be able to walk proudly across the world. But every time I set foot in this manor, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. This place is cursed. The old man wanted to cry. His heart trembled in terror. Qingtian, it's really you. Chun Yuan was surprised. He thought Yao Qingtian had already been taken back to the valley by her master. But here she was, back at the Chun manor. Brother Chun Yuan, you're alive. You're really alive. Well, her eyes filled with tears as she ran into his arms like a delicate bird. She clung tightly to his waist, unwilling to let go. Stand down, Chun Yuan said casually, waving a hand. In an instant, the hostile atmosphere vanished. Tina relaxed her stance. The giant white tiger turned around and trotted back to enjoy its fish. The medicine ancestor finally let out a breath of relief. But his heart was still pounding. A 5th-rank spirit beast and a woman stronger than himself, both obeying Chun Yuan's command? That could only mean one thing. This was the real Chun Yuan. But how? How had he survived that rain of missiles? He didn't even look injured. It was terrifying, suffocating. The more he thought about it, the more he realized. Chun Yuan's power had already surpassed his understanding. You're a guest here, Chun Yuan smiled. Why don't you join us for some barbecue? Try my cooking. I'm honored. And please, don't call me a senior. In your presence, I'm more like the junior. The medicine ancestor said respectfully. By now, he didn't dare act arrogantly. All he had left was awe and fear. It's really you, Chun Yuan Ji. I thought I lost you. Yao Qingtian's tears soaked through his shirt. Off to the side, Lin Zhiluo, Zhao Yuqi, and the others were filled with envy. She's gorgeous. She looks like some immortal goddess from an ancient legend. Aside from Sister Yihan, I've never seen anyone this beautiful before. She's glowing. So elegant, so natural. How did Brother Chun Yuan manage to attract someone like her? And that foreign assistant he hired recently. She's really pretty too. Tina Morgan, with a bit of casual disguise, had toned down her overwhelming beauty. Even though she was a stunning 9.8, she wasn't unleashing her full charm. But now with Yao Qingtian here, The women around Qin Yuan suddenly felt a lot more threatened. After all, when it comes to women, beauty matters, sometimes even more than success. That's why so many people turn to plastic surgery. Soon, the smell of delicious food wafted through the air. Qin Yuan had fired up the grill, and the aroma was mouth-watering. His culinary skills were basically god-tier. Any ingredient in his hands could be transformed into a masterpiece. Whether it was Sichuan cuisine, Cantonese, Shanghainese, Japanese, Western food, or barbecue, he had mastered them all. The scent alone made everyone drool. Even the giant white tiger couldn't resist coming closer. It smells amazing. Brother Qin Yuan's barbecue is to die for. Lin Zhilua licked her lips. Come on everyone, grab some food. Let's eat while we grill. Wow, this is so good, it's insanely delicious. Brother Qin Yuan, if you opened a street food stall, I swear it would be packed with customers every night. Everyone laughed. If President Yin really did set up a food stand, he wouldn't just be selling barbecue. He could sell canned herring, and people would still line up to buy it. Meanwhile, the medicine ancestor watched Tina quietly suppressing her aura, trying to blend in. And suddenly, he understood. I know this old witch. She's proud and arrogant. She would never submit to anyone, unless that person was far stronger than her. So strong she couldn't even see his limit. Qin Yuan is no ordinary fifth rank. He's something else entirely. Tina's recovery and power growth, it must have come from Qin Yuan. He must have taught her something profound. That's the only reason she'd be willing to follow him. With that thought, the medicine ancestor's heart stirred. The path of a true cultivator was incredibly hard. Unlocking the fifth genetic gate was already life-threatening. The road beyond was even more dangerous. But if he could receive guidance from someone like Qin Yuan, maybe he'd avoid some deadly detours. Maybe, just maybe, he could shatter the limits and reach even higher. True masters hide in plain sight. And Qin Yuan was the real hidden powerhouse. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. Also, if you know other fans who were reading this manhwa but stopped because it got axed, share this video with them. The more support we get, the more motivation we'll have to keep making these videos. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.